Hello and welcome back. So in our last lesson, we had created this move pressed Boolean parameter that we will later on use to aid our main character control script that we have yet to create. So in this lesson, I want to add a numeric control that allows us to change the walking speed of the character. So all of these animations at the moment are playing on the spot, and what we're eventually going to do is add a script to this uh, to this character, to this Sapper prefab over here, that we can then use to move her around a level, and she can walk left and she can walk right, and the script will handle her moving through space and also cue the correct animation to play on the spot. So the idea is that we do as much work here visually as we can get away with, so that we can write the shortest C# script we can we can also get away with. So we we uh, we need to handle the walking speed or the running speed of the character. So that would change, right? So why would you have a walk and a run speed if they both went the same uh, at the same pace, right? So we're going to have to either account for it in code, or if possible account for it here. We actually are going to have to write a script, but it's going to be a short one that we can access throughout this animator system here. So what I'm first going to do is create a new variable, right? So it's going to be a numeric variable. I'm going to use a float, and I'm going to call it move speed. The reason I'm not calling it speed is because I don't want it to be confused with an existing keyword within the animator part of the API that governs the playback speed of individual animations, right? So I'm going to call this move speed. Um, so it refers to just moving the character through space. Um, and I'm going to give that a default speed of 5. Right, we may change this later on if we don't like it, or if it looks like it doesn't fit with our animations. But we've got to give it something to begin with, so I'm going to say 5. So let's say that a walking pace is 5 and a running pace is double that, right? So it may not be that, but that's what we'll work with for the moment. We can change it later on. So what I want to do now is to add a behavior, right, to this animator system, so that uh, we can what you've seen in the last lesson is that if we can interact with these things here by like changing these parameters, we can affect the flow of behavior out this way. What we can also do is get the individual states here. So like being in a state or entering a state or leaving a state can exert some control over the parameters out this way, and that gives us kind of a two-way conversation then between the animator and the rest of the engine, right? So our scripts that we're going to make ourselves can be affected by what's happening in here. So what we're going to do is add a behavior, right? So if I add a behavior to this system, um, that means the behaviors, by the way, are only accessible within this animator, right? So they're only usable by these animator states. So I'm going to just click new script, and it'll ask me to give it a name, and I'm going to call this change speed. Um, capital C, and I'm going to say create and add. Okay, so now what it should have done there is if I click here on that change speed script, it shows me it's here in my assets, right? So what I'm going to do is I have a scripts folder in here in my custom folder. I'm going to just drag that in there. So all my own scripts are going to be inside of here, right? And I'll double click on that to open it up in MonoDevelop. Okay, so inside MonoDevelop, we've got this script that sort of comes out like a template. You know, this is and this is a state machine behavior class, um, and it's called change speed, which is the name that we gave it. And you can see here that it's sort of pre-populated with some templates here, right? So these are all commented out. So these are the different events that would be called depending on how we want to use this particular parameter. We only want it to do one thing really. So so what we can do is is create a variable out here first of all, right? So it's going to be a float variable, and we're going to match this up with our parameters inside the animator, right? So what I'm going to do is make a public float variable called new move speed. Okay, so public float, right? So if it's public, it'll appear on the inspector, and call it new move speed. And I'll give that the same default value of 5. So anytime that we add this behavior to something in our animator, it will default to a value of 5. And I'm actually going to use only this first parameter, or this first event here, right? So on state enter is called when we enter a state. So when the transition flows into a new state for the first time, and if this behavior is present, it will be called. So I'm just going to uncomment these. I'm going to leave this this line here as is an actual comment. The rest are only commented so that they don't do anything unless you want them to. So I'm going to uncomment those. And inside here, I'm just going to say, you can have a look at it at this here, right? So it's got this this void method here on state enter, and it's got a couple of parameters that you can use, right? So or a couple of variables that you can use. So one of them is called animator, and that refers to the animator component that where this behavior exists, right? So I want to talk about that, right? So if I type animator, it's the lowercase one here. If you're new to C#, as well, this first one is just the type of component that we're working with, and the lowercase second word here is is the name of the variable that we're going to use. So I'm going to say animator dot set float, right? So any of the parameters that we've created in our editor, we can get or set. So we can read them with get and change them with set. So as you can see, they're set bool, set float, and you can set integer and set trigger are all there, right? So we're going to say set float, and there are a couple of ways that you can access this. You can I'm going to do it with this with just calling it by name. So we called it move speed, and the separated by comma, then the second parameter here is the value of that, right? So I'm going to say its value is whatever new move speed is. And that's really it. So just close the parentheses and end the line with a semicolon. And if I save that, just Control S on my keyboard there, I've just saved it. And back to Unity then. Just let Unity update that script. And what I can do is then go down here and say add behavior to this state, right? So to our walk state. And we can add our change speed value there. And so we can say when we're walking, our new move speed is 5. When we're running, however, we can put a change speed behavior on that and say our new move speed is 10. this won't actually do anything yet. Um, and when we skid, we can say our speed has changed back to 5 again, which is the default value. Um, and we don't actually need to say that again for idle, because it's already been changed by skid. So we can leave it at that. And now we'll be able to use these parameters within our own custom C# scripts once we want to make our own character controller. So we'll do that in a later lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson.